And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Writes. You know me, I'm Brian. Evie and Sam unfortunately cannot make it this evening. Sam has a book club thing. She started doing first Fridays of or actually one Friday a month. So and
Oh,
she's
that's
getting ready
fun.
for her big book signing tomorrow for Apothecary. So Sam
Nice.
hopefully will join us next time. But
Okay.
So you're stuck with me, and and uh, and our guest of honor is Sabrina G. She's she's the author of many books, including the Consortium series, and sorry, Consortium Wars series,
Yeah.
and she wears a few more hats, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So, normally we introduce ourselves. I just did. I'm Brian. I write books too, and so here we are with Sabrina. So how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing okay. Just trying to just getting I'm my wife wasn't feeling well, so I had to make sure she was okay before I came upstairs. So
Oh,
if
yeah. Yeah, that's hard.
yeah if
Sometimes you're just okay.
yes, and that,
Like sometimes that's just how it is.
yep, I know that's my least favorite question. Like, if I'm okay, and somebody says just okay, it's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yes.
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm not good. Whatever. It's, but
Yeah.
that's all right. And but thank you for joining us. And
Of course.
yeah, and for those of you
Glad to
who
be here.
absolutely, and for those of you who might be joining us in a little bit, you have a chance. And I dropped a note in the comments. Um, we are giving away a physical copy of Their Goddess, and if you want that, drop a black heart in the comments, or you can just say black heart. So
Yeah.
that's kind of your thing. Every time we message each other, sometimes I get a black heart.
Yes. Yeah, it is kind of my thing.
So, but I guess we'll get right into it. Just first and foremost, just a few questions about you, and then we'll get into the writing part of it. So, just tell us a little bit about you. Who is Sabrina G?
So I am an independent author. I've been writing stories in my entire life. I think I got the bug for writing when I was in the sixth grade, and I wrote a story about a fairy and the girl in high school who asks this fairy if she can grant her a wish. And then, like, the whole sixth grade had to write this, and then the kindergartners picked a few of those stories to actually act them out as a play, and mine got picked. And so I think that was like the first time that bug hit me. And then I just loved writing stories forever after that. I never imagined I'd be here. Like back then, like indie publishing wasn't like a huge thing. I think it's more of a bigger thing in the last 15-ish years. Um, but I'm a
Yeah,
mom to four. I've been married to my husband for 21 years, going on 22, and we live in southern Indiana. And yeah,
yeah, and I've been to well, not Indiana, but I did go to Indiana. I visited Louisville last year when I attended Books and Bourbon Spooky Soiree, and I made a wrong
yeah.
turn and went over the bridge into Jeffersonville, Indiana. so,
Oh yeah, yeah.
so,
Nice. Yeah, that's about 20 minutes from me,
gotcha.
Jeffersonville is.
Yes, and I've seen a couple of Instagram posts about you and your husband, and it's really heartwarming to see that all these years later, and still
Yeah.
it's. But I mean, I was like, you're an independent author. Um, as a child, what did you want to do? Were you always keen on writing, or was there something else that you wanted to do? Do you want to be a meteorologist or something like that?
Yeah. I think um I think like it wasn't even something I could fathom being a writer at that point. You know what I mean? Like public
hmm
being a published author seemed like such like a not even in my wheelhouse kind of thing. So like it didn't even comprehend that I could do that. I always wanted to be a mom. I knew that like that was something I wanted to do, is to be a mom. But I actually wanted to be an actress.
Oh, okay.
Like that was like my main thing I wanted to do when I was younger.
Nice. Yeah, I can, sometimes some people have that drama bug, like they tend to write, it's like they think of dramatic things in their
Yeah.
head and then they write about them. And
Yes.
by the way, I just want to pause for a minute. I noticed you're sitting in your chair and I know Sam
Yeah.
got one of those chairs recently and she absolutely adores it. She put lights up around it.
Yes. I've got like an old fashioned light
Oh,
up on top of it. Yes, I absolutely love this chair. It's so
that is
comfortable to
cool.
sit in.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yes, I just yeah I'm getting I may have to get one of those chairs myself. Just to it's like your own little cocoon. You can sit, you can read, you can do whatever. You know.
Yeah, it's big enough you can like just like get up all in the chair and like just snuggle, and yeah, it's I love this chair.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think that my cats would eat it up. That they would claim it as theirs.
Oh yeah. Midnight, my cat Midnight, she does sit here a lot. Sometimes I'm like, "Where's the cat?" And then I'll find her here.
Yep. I have a particular spot on the couch, and sometimes I get up and Buffett will Chesney sits next to me, but Buffett, when I get up, Buffett will run and commandeer my spot, so I have to go
Yeah,
somewhere
that's
else.
funny.
So, you know, how did you go? From you wanted to be an actress when you were younger. When did you start thinking about writing and perhaps becoming an author?
So, during COVID, I came across a Facebook ad for one of those stories on those like pay per chapter apps. And I got hooked on these stories. And I was telling my husband, I was like, I used to write stories. Like, I think I could do this.
Oh,
And he's like, go for it. So that's actually how I started. I started writing for one of those apps. Um, which like in hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Because they have four books that they own the rights to, just because of the way those apps work, at least the one I wrote on. And so, like, I have those four books that I'm not really making hardly anything on. Not that I am on my other independently published, because you know how it is.
yes,
But
unfortunately.
yeah, but I have no, they're like I don't own them. That app owns them, so I'm like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But live and learn.
Yeah, I know we've all done things in the beginning that we kind of like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Like I I
Yeah.
paid some company to publish my books the first couple times, and it's
Yeah.
yeah, hey, $129, and you get and it's out there, but you don't get any royalties off of it, of course. And then they the second time
Yeah.
around they just kind of they didn't format it correctly, and it was a disaster.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yep. So that's when I learned I can do this by myself if I really figure out how.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of where I went to, because I realized I was like, they're getting so much. Because like I'm like I know what they're making off my books because of my reads, and I know what I'm making. And I'm like, they're making so much money off me, and they're not getting any more of my books. I'm gonna independent
Mm.
publish from now on.
Yeah. Was it like a 65-35 split? I think that's what my agreement was with the other people.
Oh no, it was worse than that. It was
Oh.
worse than that. It was so bad. Yeah, we make like pennies on the dollar
Oh.
on those apps. Yeah, I don't know. Like I know a lot of people got their start on Wattpad. I have no idea how Wattpad works, but yeah, the app I was on, it's yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
So
I'm not too familiar with. I mean, I've heard the name, but I'm not sure. I never really looked into
yeah,
and
me either. Not that one particularly.
right. And besides writing, what other hobbies do you have?
Obviously, I love to read too. My bookshelves are actually here. This is just like my little reading nook that I sit in. My desk's
Hmm.
there, and my books are there. And then, so
Hmm.
I love to read. Obviously, I think all authors are readers though, because I think like that's
Yeah.
how your love of wanting to write starts, is because you fall in love with stories. But we like to hike as a family. We love to go camping as a family. I like to do a little bit of craft stuff. I don't do it as much anymore because writing
Right.
takes up a lot of my time. And I recently, in the last 2 years, got into exercising. So I go to the gym like 5 days a week, unless there's something happening and I have to miss a day here or there. But
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yep.
yeah. That's a good habit to get into. That's,
It
I
is.
need to, I hurt my back recently. I'm still trying to get over that, but I want to
Yeah.
get back into walking and at least exercising.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm still waiting to see like these amazing results from it, but I do feel better when I go. Like
yeah,
physically, I have more endurance and I just am not as tired and things.
right,
But like I'm, it's a
yeah.
process.
It's I understand, yeah, and it's because like your body tends to lose, I think they lose muscle before they lose fat, and
Yeah.
it's all sometimes you look you lose certain like upper body instead of the lower body. It's I don't know,
Yeah.
everybody's different, but
Yeah.
as long as you feel better,
Yeah.
that's what counts.
Yeah.
And
I got sick and missed a couple weeks. And then I was like, ugh, I don't want to go back. And then I went back for 2 days and I was like, oh, I missed that. Like, you
uh,
get like, not everybody gets this apparently, but like, I get an endorphin rush when I exercise. So I was like, man, I missed this. So I've been going back again every day. So,
nice, yeah,
yeah.
yep, yeah, I'm looking forward to the warm weather so I can do some walking during lunchtime, or
Yeah.
maybe at night as well when
Yeah.
it gets even warmer.
And it's cooled
And
off. Yeah.
so, switching gears for a little bit, I know one of your hobbies, happens to include helping to organize the Books and Bourbon Spooky Soiree.
Yes.
How did that come to be?
So actually, one of the other event coordinators, Heather, her pen name is Zoe, so a lot of people know her as Zoe.
Hmm.
She and I met on that app,
Okay.
actually, where we both met from that app. And so some stuff had happened with her and some stuff had happened with me. And she was like, I'm going to start a book event. And I was like, okay, I'll come. And she's like, no, you're going to help me do it. Like she was basically did not giving me a choice. So I was like, okay.
Huh.
So I just kind of got like thrown into it and like she basically gave me and the other girl Candace who helps us do it too. She kind of just like gave us no choice and was like, you guys are doing this with me. So but it's been fun like figuring out our roles and like coming up with ideas because we have like stuff the themes and stuff planned out for like the next 3 4 years and
Oh,
so
cool.
it's been fun. It's been very stressful too.
Well, yeah,
But
it's
throwing a big event like that is stressful. So
yeah, and I can speak from experience. You guys did such a fantastic job last year, and I'm so
oh
sorry that
good.
I'm so sorry I can't join you this time around, but
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully in
We
26.
understand though. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Events are hard because it's interesting being on both sides of it, being an author going to events and then being an author throwing an event because I've learned so much attending events about what I want to do and what I
Hmm.
don't want to do. Um, and so it's like as you know, like you just never know if you're going to break even, if you're going to be in the
Hmm.
hole, if you're going to make just maybe a few dollars more than you spent.
Right.
So yeah, it's a catch 22. You just hope that those connections you made at the events eventually pay off, basically. So
Yeah. I mean that has been one of the positives for me. It's yeah.
mhm.
Financially, it's rough, but
Yes,
it has it's been rewarding for me to meet everyone and to go to all these events. It's
yeah,
a fun weekend. Not,
it is.
so, and
It is.
and yeah, you and Zoe. I just realized like your screen name is Poe and she's Zoe. Is that like a thing that you
Yeah,
did?
yeah. It wasn't on purpose. So actually, I actually have a cosplay account on TikTok.
Oh,
Call of Duty cosplay. And so my call sign is Poe, and I use Discord more for that community than the writing community. So that's why my name is Poe on here.
oh, okay, cool.
And it's for Edgar Allan Poe because Edgar Allan Poe is like my favorite. I just
Yes.
love all his stories and poems. So
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I know Sam loves Edgar Allan Poe as well, and
yeah.
I was able to visit his resting place in Baltimore last year.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
That's
because
so
I
cool.
went to Dreamy Dirty in Maryland, and I think it was
Yeah.
only a few blocks away from they have a church where they have the whole tomb and everything, and
Right.
it's really cool.
Yeah, I would love to go there. That's very cool.
Yeah. So, um, I was aside from writing, aside from all the other things, what like causes or projects are you passionate about? Like, you're like a specific charity or something that you donate to every year, something like that.
I'm very involved in my church, and my church does like a lot of humanitarian work. So, when I pay like tithes, that goes to help different things because they just help whatever is in need at the time. I've recently gotten more into the LGBTQ community,
Mm.
um, and this is something that I don't talk about outside of certain spaces because my family doesn't know,
Okay.
but I'm part of that community. It's been something I had to realize as I got older and looking back on things and realizing like it's just I've been this way my whole life, but
Right.
religious trauma and growing
Yes.
up super super conservative, I think I just kind of pushed that side of me and pretended it didn't exist for a
I
very long time.
I
So,
understand, and I know
yeah.
I know you're not the only one. I'm sure, and and
Yeah.
and listen, everybody has a different journey, and I support yours, 100%.
Yes. Thank you.
Sure. Um, few of your favorite things, like favorite candy, favorite seasons, favorite music.
Yeah, so I will probably gravitate towards Sprite and Monsters a lot.
Ah,
So like when I'm sitting at my desk, I always have like my cup with water. And then usually I have a Monster, and or a Sprite and a cup of hot cocoa or a cup of herbal tea. Like, like I think that's a writer thing. Like there's just multiple drinks
mm-hmm.
going on. So it's
Yep.
hard to pick just one, but probably Sprite and yes.
I
Sprite and
forgot I
Monster
had one
typically my
upstairs.
go-to. Yes. I love anything fruity and like gummy candies. Sour Patch Kids are my absolute favorite. I love
Ah,
all of them. I love the peach ones. I love the original. I love the watermelon. I love I like sour and chewy and gummy
mm-hmm.
candies. Um, and music, I just love music. So like I actually have stickers that have made that I sometimes have at my booths, not always. It depends on if I have any in stock or not. That I had my graphic designer make for me that say music is medicine because I 100% believe music is medicine. It's
Oh,
actually a very huge part of my writing process. It's one of the very first things I do when a new book character comes to me. I start making their playlist and their
nice.
Pinterest board. So music is a huge part of my writing process.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and yeah, it's sometimes I hear a song and I just it just inspires me to write about that character. Like like you hear a song and you play the scene in your head. Sometimes at least
Yes.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that's what I do too. And like sometimes I'll hear a song and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is such an Easton song. So then I'm like, I gotta add it to his book. You know what I mean? Like he would totally do this. So
yes,
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. And I know a lot of these authors have they have playlists that go with their books. That's obviously
Yes,
something you do as well.
I do. Yeah. It's in all my books. It's in the ebooks, it's in the paperbacks. It's linked, like my Pinterest board is linked so people can go find it because yeah, I love music.
Nice.
And they're long usually too.
And what's that?
My and the playlists are usually long. So
Oh,
like I think I only have one of my books that the playlist is under an hour long. Like some are up to like 2 hours. My
hmm.
personal music playlist is over 50 hours long.
Nice. Yeah,
So yeah.
I think I had like I make the playlist for my books and I think I have at least one song per chapter. So it's
Yeah,
it can get
that's
pretty
cool.
an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Um, as you mentioned that we're also avid readers. If you're a writer, you're a reader. What was your most
Yeah.
recent what was your most recent, would you say, 5-star read?
Oh, my most recent 5 star. I'm trying to look at my bookshelves and see like what. So I was very into the Zodiac Academy for a little bit. I still have to finish the last two books in the main series, but those were all five-star reads for me. Um, I finished the seventh book before eight and nine were out. So now I'm like, I have them and I just need to get back in that mode and ready to finish them. But I love that series. I'm trying to think if that was my last one or not. I also have a book club. We meet different days. It just depends on our schedules. Whoever's turn it
Hmm.
is to pick the book and host picks the when we're doing it. Um, so I'm trying to remember if the last book from that and if it was a five-star read or not. So, but yeah, Zodiac Academy for sure. That's a more recent one. My husband actually just took me for out to like a just like a date. So we went out to eat and then he took me to the bookstore and I was like, well, what's my limit? Like, what can I get? He's like, you can get 10
Yeah.
books. 10 books. I was so excited. So I just got 10 brand new books that I'm excited to dive into. So
Nice. I was thinking about like what are those game shows or whatever where like you have 5 minutes to just run through the store and grab
yeah.
everything you can, and it's like
Yes, I've seen the TikToks where the husbands will take the wives and be like, "You've got 5 minutes," and like they've got like 50 books because they know exactly what, and they're like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have given you so long."
yeah.
Yeah.
And just a reminder that we are giving away a copy of their Goddess, and if you want it, you can drop that black heart down in the comments. You can drop the emoji. You can say black heart, whatever. They're both acceptable as far as I'm concerned. And and and,
Yeah.
and the more the more emojis you do, the more chances you have, and we're going to do this a couple more times as we go along because as you know, we reward you for sticking around, and we thank you. So,
Yes.
and for those of you, for those who are not familiar with your stuff, can you tell us what genres you write in and how many books you currently have?
Yeah, so I currently have six books released. I always say my books are romance books with dark themes because I wouldn't say they necessarily fit completely dark romance.
Hmm.
I'm very character driven, and I basically like my characters will come to me to tell me their story, and I just do what I'm told. Like I have no control. They're
That
completely in control of everything. So I have a Mafia series that currently has two books released for it. It will be four or five. Like that fifth character. I'm not sure if he wants me to tell his story or not, so we'll see.
I
But
think
the
he
books
does.
one and two.
They all want their
You think he does?
stories.
Yeah. Sometimes they're slow coming and telling me, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But so books one and two are done in that. And each book is a different couple. So, like in book one, the first couple gets their happily ever after, and then in book two, that couple gets their happily ever after. In book three, etc., etc. They'll all get their happily
Oh,
ever after. But it's that the Mafia series is very interconnected, so it's best to read it in order. But you, sorry, children.
no, no,
I
you're
was like,
good.
I'm doing an interview. Leave me alone, and
No,
they don't.
if they want to pop on and do one of these, that's fine with me.
He's 17. You think like he'd be fine on his own, but you know.
Right.
But okay, and then I have a urban fantasy series that will be three books. Books one and two are done. Um and there so book one is one couple, book two is another couple, and then book three will be from all four of their point of view, and it'll be like the culmination of everything coming together. And then my very first book, I guess I could show them, they're right here.
Sure.
So this is the Mafia series, book one. It's called There Is No Love.
Yes.
There Is No Forgiveness is book two. And then this is the Urban Fantasy series. Frosted Inferno is book one.
I think that's the one I got.
And
I do
on
have.
your shelf?
Yes, actually, just give me 1 second. I think I have it over here. Oh, I can't find it. I mean, I know it's over there, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yes. So many books, right? Yeah,
Yes.
so many books on the shelf. Yours is over here somewhere too. I
Oh,
think it might
thank you.
be right there. But yes.
Awesome.
And then this is book two, Earthly Breeze in that series. And then this is my debut. This is The Rhythm of Forbidden. It's a more contemporary romance, has a little bit of dark themes in it. It's very loosely based on my husband and I. He was a drummer in a death metal band when we met,
Oh,
and the drummer in this book is a drummer of more of like a rock band. Um, but yeah, it's loosely based on us, and so yeah, that's a fun
Yeah.
one. And then my latest release is Their Goddess, and it is a story about two men who meet online in the Call of Duty cosplay community, and they get together, and then a girl joins them later.
Hmm.
So it's a male, female, why choose? And
Nice.
it's the formatting in this one is really pretty. I decided to do colored formatting for this
Oh
book.
wow.
So it's very pretty on the inside.
Oh, now all the pages are like that.
The
Wow.
chapter headings are like that. And then the colors for like the
Gotcha.
scene breaks and stuff. So yeah, so each character is a different color chapter. So Ethan's are blue, Cyrus's are green, and then Mina's are pink. So
That's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So and now I know it's like having to choose between your children, but which one would you say is your favorite so far?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I love them for so many different reasons. Um, I feel like whatever book I like the latest released is always my favorite at the time. So
Yeah.
right now it's probably Their Goddess. That one was
Right.
really fun to write from the male, and then adding in a female perspective.
Mm.
So that was a lot of fun. And I actually, because I've that's what spurred me into writing this book, was becoming a part of that Call of Duty cosplay community.
Right.
And there's a scene in the book where they're like actually on a live, and these squares
Mm-hmm.
are supposed to be like the chat boxes from
Yep.
that live. And it's actual Call of Duty cosplayers that are on TikTok that are in the book that I asked permission to include them. So like if you go look up these names, it's actual real cosplayers. So
Nice. Yes.
yeah.
That's really cool. Yes, I'm also in one of Tanya Lynn's books. I was one of the characters that she I
Oh
th-
yeah,
yeah, with
it's
you
so
know,
fun.
yeah, with permission, of course.
Yeah. No, I'm actually so this Their Goddess is book one in the Enigmatic series, and it's going to be interconnected standalone. So these will be able to be read like by themselves.
Okay.
Um, and then in book, I'm actually working on book two now. It's going to be my next release. Um, so yeah,
Nice. So and I'm sensing a little bit of a theme here. You yourself are a gamer, and your character the story revolves around people who are gamers. And is it safe to say
yes.
that that's real life has inspired some, if not all, of these books?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as an author, you can't help but put pieces from real life into your books, like it just happens. Um, like I've told people before, I feel like scatters pieces of myself are scattered amongst my
Mm.
books. Like people that know me will pick things up and they'll be like, "That's so you," and I'm like, "Yeah, you might be right."
Yep.
So I
I
feel like little pieces of me are scattered in my characters, and um, you
mm-hmm.
know, I
Yep.
think we just do that.
I think I've done a little bit of that myself. It's like my male main character in my first book was sort of like an alter ego of mine, a sort of like who maybe like a version of the younger me, and then Eddie. I didn't realize that Eddie Fitzgerald in Eddie the Legend. Um, I didn't realize I was putting bits and pieces of myself in the character as I was writing it. And then when people said, "Oh,
Hmm.
it's you," it's like, no, it's not me. Like, I'm not six
Yeah,
foot. I'm not 6'2". I don't have a beard. I don't. Whatever. And it's just like, but when I
right.
looked at all what he did, and it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the first female character in book one of my Mafia book, her name is Alora, and people either love her or they hate her. But I feel like she's my alter ego, like, because I'm very, and I think people that know me from Books and Bourbon, because I had to be very on and like, be the face of that event,
Hmm.
probably don't think this is true, but I'm actually like pretty shy and like very soft being. I'm very emotional.
Hmm.
I'm very have a hard time putting myself out there with people I don't know. And so Alora is very like she's a badass. So it's like I feel like she's my alter ego. Like I wish I could be as strong as she was kind of
Right.
thing. Um, but yeah, she had a very tough life, and so like I think she's kind of misunderstood by people because sometimes people don't like badass strong female characters.
Hmm. I mean,
But what are you
yeah,
gonna do?
yeah. I mean, everybody has a story and a reason for doing what they do. Even the villains.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
Yep.
makes them so so intriguing. And
Yeah.
as far as
I've always kind of been a sucker for the villain, you know? So
yeah. As far as like interacting, I think aside from my wife, I think interacting with you has been like the most. This has been the most interaction I've had with people all face to face all week. Like
yeah.
I mean, obviously I text Sam and Evie pretty much every day something, but and a couple
Yeah.
of other people, but yeah, it's I don't even think I spoke to people at work this much this week.
Yeah. I've got my core people that I talk to all the time, but like, and then like you get to know people at these events. So like, sinner, wow, my brain, sinful signings 2 years ago. I
Hmm.
hung out in my hotel room. I did my table. I went to the night, and then I went back to my hotel room. I didn't hang out with anybody. But last year, I knew people better, so like actually hung out with people in the lobby
Right.
and stuff. So like it takes me a little bit to be comfortable,
Oh yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's
So,
I mean, yeah. I had I was a little bit panicked like the first year because like like if I wasn't around Samantha or actually I just met Evie at Sinful 2 years ago, but
yeah,
yeah, I think I only knew a few people, and everybody else it
yeah,
was just like ugh, like
yeah. That's how I felt.
yeah, you know how it is, but
It was terrifying.
yeah, and then last year it's like it was like I knew more people and I felt like I was part of it's like it like I think I told the 2 years ago it was like I was a guest in their house, and last year I felt like I lived there, you know and
Yeah,
now it's like
yeah,
and even now as we speak it's like oh it's been a few weeks since I've done a countdown. I bet Avon or somebody is going to be like, where is Brian Scala? We need another countdown.
yeah. Probably you should do that.
Uh, I'll have to. Hey Google, how many days until July 19th? Let's see. We have.
To figure out how many days are left
Oh,
until July 19th,
never mind. You're gonna tell. Oh, 113 days. So
Nice.
if you're watching, it's 113 days as of this moment until Sinful Signings 2025. Um,
Wait.
so, you talked a little bit about your characters. Do you have a favorite and a least favorite?
Um. Uh. It's like asking you to pick one of your kids. Like, which is your
I
favorite
know.
kid? None of them. I love them all. I. I kind of have a soft spot for Alora that I had talked about a little bit already because she's a her dad is mafia. He's one of the big mafia bosses, and her mother died during childbirth. And so she just kind of never had a soft spot to land. And so her life is very rough. Like her father, that's why the book is named There Is No Love, because her father tells her her entire life that there's no love in their world, in their mafia world. So I have a soft spot for her. So I
Mm,
love her. And I guess if I had to pick a character I hate, her dad.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I'm trying to think of which character I hate the most. It is kind of a weird question when you think about it. It's like, well, I gave birth to these
Yeah.
characters. Why would I hate them? But like
Yeah.
each character has a reason for existing. It's like I guess
Yeah.
in a way it's maybe my favorite character is Eddie, and my least favorite character would be uh, Don Aronson in Eddie the Legend. He's like one of the like I was thinking of like this old school Dick Tracy like villain type, like really outlandish,
Yeah.
is like cartoon,
Yeah.
almost cartoonish in
Yeah.
his ignorance, you know.
Yes, yes. I love that. Every person that has read There Is No Love hates Alora's dad. Like he's a very hateable character.
Yeah.
He's not a good guy.
Mm. Oh, I
Yeah.
guess in that. respect, even a worse character would be Kevin in Eddie the Legend. I think he's probably like the worst character I've ever written. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's really no
It's kind of
redeeming.
fun to write those characters, but like,
Yeah,
but it's rough.
yeah. There's really no redeeming quality. Actually, that was one of the things I wanted to do. Like with my first book, it was more of like a memoir type book, where like the my MC is talking about his life and everything, and there was really no true villain antagonist in the story. It was just mostly like his demons, and
Yeah.
also Billy Shaw's demons. And then so I was like, okay, well, I really gotta you know make write a character, or at least two or three who are just complete assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of fun to write. So
Yes.
in Frosted Inferno, his dad in that book, you kind of hate him. Like at
Mm.
first you're like, oh, he's such a jerk and he did this. But then stuff happens within the story and you realize why he does the things he does. And then by the end of the story, you love him. Like, so that was fun to write because like that was not my plan. My
Mm.
plan was for him to be a crap character the whole time.
Huh.
Um, and then like just a hateable character, like just kind of not a good dad and stuff. And then you realize like this is why he did things so his son would be okay, kind of thing. Um, so like that was fun to write because that was an epiphany for me too. Like people
Yeah.
always ask me what's gonna happen in book two. I'm like, I don't know. They haven't told me what they're doing yet. Like I haven't set up my laptop. They haven't told me their plan yet, so I don't know.
Yeah. And when I wrote Heather in Core Memories, I wrote her backstory and how she, became such a sick, twisted individual. And I had arc
Yeah,
readers be like, oh, I love this character. I love how strong-willed and, how she is. And like,
yeah,
she's my favorite. It's like, she's supposed to be the bad guy.
yeah. You're not supposed to like her.
That's how
Yeah,
that's
that's fun.
how it works though. It's some people, it's different
Yeah,
strokes for different
yeah,
folks.
yep.
Um, Now, you have your two series and your standalone. Do you prefer standalones or series, or does it matter?
Um, I like I don't know. I like them both. I think the standalones in some ways are easy to write because you don't have to worry about like, okay, what happened in book one that I need to make sure I wrap up in
Hmm.
book two, three, four. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like from that standpoint, that it's easier to write those standalones. But I do like the evolution of the books and like seeing the characters come back from the previous books in series. Um, but anybody that has been with me from the beginning and has read all my books will find Easter eggs in all my books. So like
Right.
characters will make cameos. Like basically all my books exist within the same world, basically.
Yep.
So like you might, if you really pay attention, you might be like, oh, wait a minute, I
I
know that character.
Yeah. I did that in Core
So
Memories. I referenced my first book. The main character is a lead singer of a band, Black Swan,
yeah,
and
yeah, that's so cool.
in Core Memories, I had them talk about how they both loved Black Swan and they wanted they saw and then Aaron starts playing a song on the guitar. It's one of their songs. So
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
that's so cool. I
I love that
love
little intertwining within the same universe.
that.
So
Me too. Yep. Every book has a character from another book in it in some way. Actually, one book does not because it's the second in the series and it just didn't work right to do it. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do that. And it's fun when like somebody actually catches it. People don't catch it very often because not very many people
hmm
have read all my books.
yep,
Like people either love my Mafia series or they love the Urban Fantasy series. So like sometimes they don't catch those because they haven't read both.
right,
Um, but it's fun when like somebody that has is like, oh, wait a minute, is that Kason from
yep.
the Rhythm of Forbidden? And I'm like, yep.
Yep. Yeah, I think Sam when Sam read Core Memories at the very end I mentioned in passing one of the characters in Eddie the Legend and which is not like she wasn't in the book, it was just like somebody that was like referenced and it's like, oh, is that so and so, like, yep.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I love when yeah, I love
yeah,
when authors do that too. Like some of my favorite authors that I just love and I read all their books. I
hmm,
love when authors do that. So I was
yeah,
like, I knew that was something I wanted to do when I
absolutely.
started writing. So
Yes. And we are rehoming a copy of Their Goddess. And this is just a reminder: if you want if you want it, you can. If you want a chance to win it, you can drop the black heart in the comments. And we thank you all for sticking around so far. So
mhm. Thank you.
yeah, um, obviously, writing and you have your writing, your organizing, you have your personal life. How do you handle the balance? How do you balance everything?
Um, not very well. It's a struggle sometimes. We homeschool our kids.
Okay.
So like I have that too. So like I don't know. I like it's funny because I have every fourth Thursday of the month I go to a monthly businesswoman's meeting.
Hmm.
So there's women that are in business from all kinds of business. We have a girl that's a graphic designer. She's my graphic designer. She's the one that does all my graphics for like certain graphics for things, my logos and stuff. We've got a girl who does yarn animals. We've got a girl who runs a hotel. We've got a cookie lady. We've got a girl who runs a flower shop and a greenhouse. So we've got all these women that do different businesses. And so like every month we meet and we go through things that are working that month, what's not. And that's one of the questions actually that we go through every month is how are you balancing life and work and all the things? And like it was last night, so I was like, I'm not. I'm like drowning right now.
Mm.
So I don't know. I think you kind of have to prioritize, and sometimes it's not always easy to make a priority list and stick to it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I guess I'm guilty of, going all in on something, on one thing, and then realizing like I've neglected like three or four other different pieces of me, and
yeah.
or things that I love. I want to do this, and it's funny. I'm actually kind of doing that this year. It's circumstances being what they are. I'm actually, I mean, I love Disney, and I love baseball, and there's other things that I,
Right.
it's like, for the past 2 years it's all been all about writing and doing all the signings and everything, and I love doing it,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to get back to it. But it's like I gotta allocate certain times and things to
Yeah. It's
it's
hard.
yeah.
We it's hard to find that balance because like you want to see success and like as an indie author like you just have to promote yourself all the time and it's exhausting.
Oh yeah.
It's exhausting. You know what I mean? Because it's like how many times can I talk about this book? At what point are people going to get annoyed with me? But
Yep.
if you don't do it then nobody's ever going to find your book and
I
you know what I
know.
mean? So
Yeah, and it's like,
it's hard.
yeah, it's like the 85th time you talk about a certain book, that could be the one time somebody sees your video.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it is exhausting, and I've kind of stopped promoting myself for a little while, but
Hmm.
you know um
You have to put in the work, but you also have to find that time to do the things that fill your cup. So like next week we're
mhm.
going on a family vacation to Tennessee.
Oh
And my
nice.
husband was like, you are not allowed to bring your laptop. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay.
That's yeah. It's
So
funny. I brought my laptop to Florida with me last week. Um,
yeah,
I didn't open it once. But I knew
that's
like
good.
I but it's like the first time I brought my laptop was 2 years ago, because I had to, because people were getting stuck, and I needed to log on to work if I was you know if I was stuck in Florida, and I just happened
Sure.
to think of a story, and I started writing it, and it eventually became Core Memories. So
Yeah. Very
and
cool.
I thank you. I I started bringing my laptop everywhere because I would write things,
Mhm.
and but this time I brought it, and I didn't have the desire or whatever to open it one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
So
yep, it happens. Yeah. Um, what do you enjoy the most about writing, and what do you enjoy the least?
um I think the thing I enjoy the most is probably like those moments when Um, so I'm very much a pantser. I have
Hmm.
like I kind of know where the story's gonna go. I kind of have a loose idea of what I want it to do.
Yep.
I have a gazillion notes that are sometimes just scenes that might make it to the book, quotes that characters are going to say that come to me
Hmm.
as I'm before I start writing and sometimes during the writing process, but I don't plot like at all
Gotcha.
besides my random notes. So like for me, it's almost like the story reveals itself to me as I'm sitting at the laptop writing as well. So that's fun to like this to watch that story unfold and see where the characters end up and how they grow and stuff. So I love that. My least favorite part is probably promoting myself.
Yeah, that seems to be everybody's least favorite, or you know, it's the
Yeah.
whole, you know, going back to the whole marketing thing where it's like you got to keep doing it and
Hmm.
doing it and doing it. You know? And
Yes. I actually was able to hire a PA this year.
oh,
So she does my newsletter for me every month. She runs my street team, and then she randomly will just do things I haven't even asked her to do, and it's amazing.
oh,
And I'm
nice.
like so glad I could afford that little thing that like takes a little bit off my plate. So, yeah.
That is a great luxury to have. You know, it's and
Yes.
I know other authors who have PAs, and it really is a blessing for them. You know, it's
It is.
unfortunate that we can't all do it, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
it is a big help.
Technically, I can afford to do it. I definitely am not making enough monthly for what I'm paying her, but I'm hoping that having her do it for me eventually is going to pay off. So me and my
Right.
husband were like, we're just going to figure it out for 1 year and see how it goes.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a sound decision. You know, you know, you can do it
yes,
in the meantime, and you know
yeah,
put yourself out there, and you know, like, bet on yourself, for lack of a better
yeah,
term. Yeah.
yeah. That's what we're trying to do.
Do you have any specific? You talked about like having a beverage or whatever when you're writing. Like, do you have a specific routine? Like, do you listen to music while you're writing, or is it like you need total silence? You know.
No, so like I never have silence unless my children are asleep. But um, so I do kind of have like the playlist for the book playing in the background very low, usually
Oh,
when I'm
that's right.
writing.
That's right. I have
And
seen you.
then
I that's right. I've
oh
seen you on lives a couple times, and I hear the
yeah,
music in the background. Yeah.
the music in the background, yeah. So I do like to have a little bit of music, and then sometimes I'll get into scenes where I can't and I have to turn it off and I have to just completely focus on what's happening.
Right.
Um, but other than that, I don't really have any routines. I pretty much write right here in my little desk that my dad made me that sits here in my little reading writing nook. Once in a while I write on the couch, but I feel like I get more done and I write better when I'm sitting at my desk.
Right.
But if I'm traveling and I have my laptop with me, I write wherever. Sometimes it's in the hotel bed. Sometimes it's at a desk if there's a desk at the hotel. Sometimes it's in a hotel lobby. It just
Gotcha.
depends on what's happening and when that sometimes those moments of inspiration will just hit and you have to run with it wherever
Hmm.
you're at. So,
Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah.
yeah.
How many whips do you have currently?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've got so I'm not one of those people, writers, authors that just works on one book at a time. So I'm working on book 2 in the Enigmatic standalone series. That book is about an anonymous DJ who is also a street photographer and a graphic designer who moves to New York to help her family, her uncle and aunt run their pizza place. Um, and then they bump into each other, and they knew each other from high school. They're older, so it's been years.
Hmm.
Their 20-year reunion is coming up, so they're, quite a bit older.
Ah.
I'm also working on book 3 in the Mafia series, book 3 in the Urban Fantasy series. I've got a Viking Valkyrie story on the back burner, and I've so many. I don't know, 8 probably. At
Yeah.
different levels. Some of them are just nothing's created except for a few notes, a
Right.
playlist, and a Pinterest board. But yeah.
Right. Yes, that's right. I meant to. You were talking about you have like notes where like you have you know quotes that you might want to say later on. You have, yeah.
Hmm.
I have a notepad too of things that I want to either say, or like either quotes or things that I want to happen, and
Yeah.
and as I write the story, it's like half of them. I just have I have no use for half of them, but I have to keep it
Yeah.
somewhere in like a scrap pile because.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this is my writing book
Oh wow.
and it's so like it's got some stuff at the front that's like writing stuff. So it's got words because sometimes you get stuck and you just need new words. And then but it's got all my notes and stuff. So it's a mess, but it works for me. Apparently, I thrive in chaos. I don't know, or maybe I don't, but
I think all
it's
of us, that seems to be a general theme with all indie authors. We thrive in chaos.
yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yes. Um, one thing we all do bleh, one thing we all deal with also is when the characters aren't talking to us, and obviously you have a few works in progress that you can lean on, but what do you
Mhm.
do when you have writer's block?
I'm actually kind of going through a little writer's block right now, and I think it's partly because I just have a lot going on in my real life right now. So that's like I'm busy and I don't have as much time to focus on it. But like I don't push it because I have tried before where I make myself, no, you're gonna sit down for 2 hours and you're gonna write. And I do that and I go back and read it and it's crap.
Yep.
So
I
like I know that works for some people, it does not work for me.
Yeah. I
So
I'm the same way. Like to me, it's like it's like if you don't want to eat your when you're a kid, you don't want to eat your vegetables, and your parents make you sit at the dinner table until you eat them. It's like
yeah.
to me, it's like the same mindset. It's like I can sit here all day long and stare at the computer and the laptop, and if I don't
Hmm.
if I can't write it, I can't write it.
Yeah. Because those moments where you just get like enthralled in it and like nothing exists except for you and your laptop,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the good stuff comes out. So I
Yes.
tend to just wait for those moments, and when they come, I run with it.
Yep.
So I actually wrote, so right now that book is at the DJ book is at because it's going to be like a small novel like this. It's going to be a shorter one.
Okay.
I think it's at 20 chapters right now, and I wrote 19 of those in like 3 weeks.
Wow.
So
That's
like
something.
that book was just flowing, and then life happened and I had to take a break from it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that moment that it's back and I'm in the zone again.
Yep, I hear you. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
if you think of ideas when you're on vacation, you're gonna like type it in your phone, and then when
Yes. So actually all my notes for my book start in my phone, and then when I sit down to write that book, I print them and then they make it into my writer's book.
nice.
So because a lot of the times it hits me when I'm not at home, so it goes in my phone because that's always I always have it. So
Yep, yep. And sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and think of something, and I have to type it in my phone because it's.
yeah. And sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and type that stuff into my phone, and then I wake up and I'm like, I have no idea what I was going with for there. It makes zero sense to me this
Yep.
morning, but I'm gonna keep it because maybe it'll make sense later.
Yeah, I've been there too. Yeah, it's like this is total
Yeah.
garbage. What was I thinking at 3:30 in the morning? Um, so mm, other authors who have inspired you?
I'm Edgar Allan Poe. We talked about
Yes.
him a little bit earlier. I love Edgar Allan Poe. I'm inspired by other indie authors because like this community is amazing. Specifically, if you want me to say specifics, Monty J. She wrote which is still ongoing, the Hollow Boy series. I love her. She's just an amazing human being and an author. I got to meet her at Authors in the Bluegrass in Lexington, Kentucky last year.
Nice.
And I was like so excited to meet her. I love Rue Nix, who wrote Gothicana. She inspires me because the way she writes is just amazing and very poetic. But yeah, like I don't, when I was young, I loved like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Like
Mm,
so many things inspire me. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that one of the stories that really hooked me when I was young was The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
I actually like the movie version where James Caviezel was Edmond Dantes.
Yes.
But
I love it.
but like
Yeah.
it's like I think in elementary school they had like a shelf with all the classics on it, like Robinson Crusoe, Tom Sawyer, Count of Monte Cristo, and so on.
Yeah.
And. So, but I was just,
That's very
that was
cool.
just one of the ones that really got me.
Yeah. 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 It's fun when that book hooks you and you're like a reader for life after that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's how it works. Yeah. Um,
Yep.
what advice would you give anyone, any unpublished authors or people who are writing for the first time? What?
I would say just do it. Just sit, write, get the book done, edit it, hire an editor, and just see what happens. Because like most of us, I think sometimes they think that indie, like they see indie authors and what they're posting on socials and going to these events and things, and they assume that we're like making all this money, and we're not. But like they just kind of assume that, like just do it, because even when it like you have so many of those days where you're like, do I want to keep doing this? I feel like I'm not even, I feel like I know I'm spending way more money to put these books out than I'm getting back in. But then you'll have those moments where someone will come into your DMs and they'll be like, I read your book and I love this character. And I really connected with this character and that story. Like, and those moments are like, okay, I can
Yeah.
keep going. I can keep doing this. So just hold on. It's making me a little bit emotional. So just hold
Oh,
on for those moments that are those push you to keep going moments, because they happen. Sometimes they seem like they're super far and few in between,
yes.
but if you just keep going, they happen.
Yeah.
And just be passionate about your what you're doing, and people will see that.
Yeah, I feel that 100% because I'm actually going through a little bit of that myself. I've been putting so
It's
much of
hard.
into this for the last year and a half and whatnot, and it's just it is a lot, and it's um, yeah, it's I but my goal for this year is to finish the book that I was writing and to put it out by the end of the year, and then next
Yeah.
year I can get back to doing the events and just
Right.
it's but yeah it sometimes it's just it ebbs and flows like the you
It
know
does.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's hard. I celebrated my 3-year author anniversary this month. And so
Nice.
like is like, and I think I got a little bit down when that happened, because I was like talking to a friend, I was like, I really thought I'd be further by now. You know what I mean? Like I'm 3 years
Mm.
in. And so like, but then I talk to authors that are like, I've been doing this for 12 years. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yep, that's and
yeah,
yeah, I've heard the same thing. It's like Evie will tell me, oh, so and so, it took her until her 10th book to finally get here instead of here. It's like and
yeah,
everybody's different. It just
absolutely.
yeah, it depends on the
You
genre.
and don't, that would be one of my biggest advice is do not compare yourself to anybody else, because
Hmm.
that's just a recipe for disaster and making yourself feel bad,
Yep.
because everybody's journey is different. You have no idea what happened behind the scenes that you're not seeing that made them more successful for whatever reason, or what lucky video of theirs just got them out there, or
Yeah.
lucky video that somebody else put out about their book. So
Right.
you can't compare yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. It's and I didn't realize it, but I found myself doing that in the beginning. It's like, well, this person is you know doing X Y Z. I need to do X Y Z in order to get to where I want to be. But
Yeah.
everybody's different, and it's taken me a long time to realize that it's there, and you talk about being, you thought you might be further along than you are, but there's nobody else. It's not you're not competing with anyone else. It's just this is
Yeah.
your author career, not anybody else's. So,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's
And
something.
that's what you just compare where you are now to where you were a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 years ago, whatever.
Hmm.
Because when you do that, that's when you'll see like, oh, I'm actually doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I might not be doing as good as so and so, but my journey's different than theirs.
Yes.
So
And the most important thing is to make sure you're happy with where you are. You know,
yes. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we want you to be happy with a copy of their goddess. And if you want to get in on that, you can drop the black heart down in the comments, and I will I'll make sure that Sabrina and hooks you up, and you can you know I'll, we'll get that done for you. So, and
Absolutely.
we're pretty much cruising along. Right? We've done this for an hour, but we have some fun questions for you. And not that these questions haven't been fun, but these are a little bit more of the you know well, you'll see what I mean. It's like you know um, this is actually Evie Black's favorite question, so I'm going to start with this one. What's your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, Velociraptor, I'd say.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yep. Mine
they're
is
kind of
T Rex.
mean.
What's that?
T-Rex, yeah, they're kind of mean. I don't know. I'm not. So like maybe that's why I like them. I don't know. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah. I know my stock answer is T Rex because my that's my wife's nickname because she has her arms are a little short,
Oh,
so it's like
okay.
like her friends call her T Rex sometimes, or Pepper, but
Yeah,
it's
that's cute.
um,
Nice.
what is the most daring thing you've ever done?
Oh, I feel like I haven't done a lot of daring things. Oh, have I ever done? I don't know. That's kind of a hard question. Becoming an indie author, maybe? That might be the most
That
daring thing I've ever done.
that
Because
is a
putting
perfectly
yourself out there
acceptable
like that.
answer. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it does take a lot of courage to do that. Put yourself
It's
out there
like
too.
giving your baby to somebody and being like, love this baby.
Absolutely.
So,
Um,
yeah.
uh, this question is not on one of the fun questions. I just thought of this randomly. Because um, I, do you still do like the mask thing when you're doing your TikTok videos?
For on my cosplay account,
Yes. Oh, I
I
know. I
do.
thought for some reason I thought you had like, when you're you had like you were wearing the masks when you were trying to promote your books, or maybe I'm.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I'm trying to promote their goddess, I do that because, that's what the book's about is people from that community.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I do sometimes. I actually, one of my friends met me when I was at the signing in Kansas City this year. And they are actually somebody I met from the cosplay community. And him and my husband and I filmed a video because the book's about two guys and one girl.
Yep.
So we filmed a video and I posted it to my author page, and it did very well. Not
Gotcha.
as like it didn't. I mean, it did very well for my views. I got like 1,500 views or something, and that's a lot for my page because
Right.
I'm lucky to get 200. Um, so yeah, I do
Yep.
like to do that when I
Yeah,
can. So
I'm lucky to get. I mean, I think I promoted our show today this morning, and I don't think it got 100 views. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Maybe it doesn't like the fact that we're doing it on Discord.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
lemon sherbet.
Lemon sherbet. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, regular ice cream hurts my belly, so I like sherbet
oh,
if
okay.
I can.
Gotcha.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Sometimes it bothers me too, but yeah, I'll sometimes I'll eat it anyway.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
hmm.
Sometimes I will too. I try not to because I'm like, why did I do that? But
Yeah.
that's why I like sherbet. Like graters, if there's a graters near you, their lemon sherbet is really, really good.
I don't think we have
So,
a grater. Graters, is it? Yeah,
yeah.
we don't have those. We have Carvel. That's like a major
Okay.
one in the
Yeah.
Northeast. And of course we have Baskin Robbins. We have Cold Stone.
Okay. Yeah. The main major ones. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were trapped on a deserted island or a foxhole, who's the one person you want with you?
My husband.
Nice.
He
Hmm.
could probably get us out. He's pretty
Nice.
good. Stuff like
He's
that.
nice. Um, what is the one thing you thought would be cool about being an adult? As a child, what did you think would be cool about being an adult, but isn't really cool?
Having adult money. Like,
Yeah.
I think as children, we think like mom and dad have so much money. We don't. It's an illusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as children, we tend to think that mom and dad can pretty much do whatever they want, and it's like there's
Yeah.
um, there was no whenever my mother would finally get tired of me asking for something, and she just turn to me and say, "I can't afford it," and it's like,
Yeah.
how do you come back from that? It's like
Yeah.
there's no comeback. It's oh,
Yeah. No.
okay,
Oh. Hey, mom. Yeah.
yep. Um, I'm trying to think. I thought I missed one here. I'm sorry. I'm cheating. I'm looking at the
Good.
sheet. I thought I missed one, but I don't know. I guess I
You're
didn't.
good.
Um, If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to?
Ah, I don't know. I think I think it'd be kind of cool to travel back to like the 1920s because that's just such a cool era with music
Yeah.
and the clothing from that era. And yeah, I think that
Hmm.
would be just kind of fun to go to like a speakeasy, like I
Yeah.
think that'd be kind of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go to the days before Prohibition. Like,
Yeah.
watch Babe Ruth play in a real game. Live, perhaps.
Yes. That would be so cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
So,
that.
just one last time, I want to tell everybody that we are giving away a copy of Their Goddess. And if you want it, drop the black heart in the comments, and we're going to wrap things up in a few minutes. So, and it's been wonderful having you so far, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Sure. Can you just remind us, aside from Discord, where else can we find you online?
So I have my TikTok, Instagram, and what's what's the thing connected to Instagram that's like the old
Threads.
Twitter? I can't think what it's called. Threads.
Yes.
And that's all author.Sabrina G. So it's easy to find me. It's all the same. And then my Facebook group for readers is Sabrina G's Ravens. So
Cool.
yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yep. And where can we find you in person this year? What events are you going to?
So I'll be at Sinful Signings in July.
Nice.
I will be at Words and Wonder in June, and that's in it's like up by Indianapolis, Indiana, and I can't think of the town it's in. But yeah, check out that Hometown Biz is the socials for that. I will be in Texas at Villains and Vixens
Oh,
in September.
nice.
I will be at Book Harvest in Chicago in October. I will be at Books and Bourbon, Spooky
Hmm.
Soiree, of course, in
Yes.
October. And then I will be at Books in Chaos in November.
Very cool. Yeah. So you're going to be
Yeah.
in all the good places this year.
Yes. Yes. I'm really excited about some of these signings. The one in Texas makes me a little nervous because I love to fly, but I don't want to fly with all my stuff because I won't be able to take everything. Because like I
Oh,
go all out
yes.
on my table. So like
Yes.
I want to have all my stuff with me. So I'm driving. So luckily my aunt lives in Arkansas, so I'm driving to
Mm,
her house on the way, then to Texas, and then
gotcha.
on the way home, I'm going to actually stay at my friend's house who lives in Missouri that I met in the Call of Duty cosplay community. Actually, so I'm going to stay at their house, his house on the way
Nice.
home. So at least I'll have somewhere halfway where I'm not like staying in a hotel by myself. Because I don't know about you, Brian, but I get like social exhaustion after events
Okay.
really
Yeah.
bad.
I understand. Yes.
And yeah, and I tend to have like emotional breaks on my drive, especially if I'm by myself. So the first time it happened was actually Sinful Signings last year. The first year I had somebody with me that was in the car with me, so I think that helps a little bit.
Yep.
But on the way home last year, I had like a complete sobbing breakdown in a
Oh
truck
no.
stop when I stopped for gas. So
Oh
like
no.
that one makes me a little bit nervous, all the driving. But Jesse's actually coming with me to Sinful Signings this year. So I'll have
Nice.
him with me the whole time. So that should help.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll get to meet him too. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't miss Sinful Signings. It's like I mean everything else. I had to kind of pause, but it's like
Yes.
I couldn't bring myself
Yeah.
to miss that one.
2 years ago, that was my first signing I had ever been to.
Yes, I
And it
remember.
was like a super last minute addition for me. They were like, reached out to me on Monday and they're like, we had somebody drop out. You want to come to Virginia this weekend? And I talked to my husband and I was like, so this just happened. Do you think we can make it work? And like he went and sold motors that he had out in the garage to come up with the money for me to go.
Oh,
And I just kind of threw a table together and I didn't have a lot of stock. So like, but yeah. like that kind of set the bar for signings for me, and they're so amazing. So
Yeah,
like,
it
yeah,
was it was like the best thing that ever happened, and the worst thing, because it's like I kind of got like signing fever, and it's like, oh my god, this is like how all of them are gonna be, and it's and
yeah,
you know it, I kind of went a little nuts with applying for everything and trying to do as much as I could, and before I was able to
yeah,
do so, and
yeah.
and like again, books and bourbon. You guys did a fantastic job with everything.
Oh, thank you.
And I had a wonderful weekend last year,
Good.
and
I'm glad.
I'm looking forward to going back next year.
Yeah,
So
we're looking forward to having you back.
thank you. And it's just about time to announce the winner, and as fate would have it, that there is one person who's been dropping those black hearts in the comments, and it is
Yes.
Marissa. So Marissa, congratulations, and
Yes.
uh, you know, you can message Sabrina and work everything out.
Absolutely.
Addresses and everything, all that good stuff. So Marissa will get the signed copy of Their Goddess.
Congrats, Marissa.
Yep, yep, and she's a wonderful art creator too. And she's a good friend
Oh,
of
good.
Samantha's. So
Oh, awesome.
yes,
Yay.
so um, Sabrina, it's been wonderful talking with you for like an hour and change. So usually
Yeah, you too.
usually we go a little bit longer, but I think it's because usually we have Sam or Evie here, trying doing like a three-way conversation. So
Yeah.
so it's
More talking happening.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we definitely appreciate you coming on, and just
Yeah, thank you for having me.
yes. And Marissa says it's been a pleasure to listen, and thank you, Marissa, for sticking with us. So
Yes,
just
thank you for hanging out.
yeah, is it just a couple things before we wrap it up? Um, our next week we have Britton Brinkley with us,
Love
and
her.
yeah, and all of our episodes are on YouTube, and I'll send a message out. When when this is uploaded, it should be uploaded before I go to bed tonight. So you can check for that in the Discord or on the Facebook group for Friday Night Rights. And
Yes.
if you want to be a guest, we are we're going to start booking into 2026 very shortly. Um, we have an interest form in our link tree. It's or you can go to our profile on our link tree on dot ee slash Friday Night Rights. All the forms are there. The interest form. And we have our. I know it's a little. It's kind of inverted. I don't know why how that happens, but this
Yeah.
is the cover of our anthology, "See Me as I Am," and we've had so many amazing authors contribute, and we're thankful. And all these stories are phenomenal. And focusing on overlooked, unseen illnesses. Things that we go through, either physical, mental, whatever. It's all the and actually Samantha posted something um, on our socials the other day, which kind of encapsulates everything that we're talking about. It's like disabilities. You can see people who need assistance, but then there are people who are dealing with other issues on the inside, and
Yeah.
we want to reach out to those people as well, and thank them. So that is the pre-order should start on April 15th. So
Very
we'll
cool.
get that up and running in a few weeks. So and again, Sabrina, thank you so much for coming on, and
Of course. Thank you for having me.
you got it. And everybody, have a great night. And Sabrina, I'm sure I'll talk to you at some point in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks. Have a great night. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.